Okay. What?
Well, apparently they're not doing a lawyer for the child like they originally for the trial. They're just the judge is just giving them 5 days for the two families, Dara and the one that adopted
Dylan.
5 days to oppose the release if they want to. And if they don't, then they'll talk about probation or just plain letting him out.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping, right?
Yeah.
That they don't oppose it. So Michael can come home.
Well, only giving them 5 days too. I mean, hopefully that'll help.
Because at last I knew, Kara's still really hard to find anyway and get a hold of. No luck on the David front, Brooke. Dad's checked into some things. I've checked into some things. We haven't found anything, so hopefully that's a good sign that maybe my son's not dead. Because believe me, I'd rather him not be, So, because I'll tell you, that's a horrible blow, to receive on any occasion. But Mom's birthday, it's like, really, Jim, you couldn't have waited for a different day. And the way he said it, did you hear the way he said it? You know what I'm saying? It was like he didn't even care. Like it was nothing. Like he passed away. Like big deal. Like, you son of a bitch. That's my son you're talking about. Okay. Don't be so dismissive here. Don't worry. I'm not crying. Just allergies. As you can see, I'm wearing my little buddy right there. My Moldavite. And I've got it on with yarn. And when I put it on with yarn like this, I knot it. So it ain't coming off unless I take the scissors and go snip, snip. So had some interesting dreams because of it. Wasn't anything bad. Just, boy, it's always, it always seems to be a bunch of people. Big house, a lot of different events going on, seems like, or, I'm not sure. Strange things like this one young man, never seen him before in my life. No idea. He could be a relative that I never got to meet in life. I have no clue. But he was tall. He had dark hair. He was nice, pretty cool kid. And he came to me and asked if he could, something about painting a horse pink. I'm like, okay, show me what you're talking about. So there was 3 pictures, I think, or something like that. And my picture was in the middle. And I said, go ahead. I said, paint mine pink, whatever that meant. I have no idea. There was just there was a lot of people there that it didn't seem like a sad occasion. It seemed like it was a celebration. So hopefully that's a good sign. Michael's coming home. It will not be opposed. Hear that, Moldavite? Do not let anyone oppose it in that 5 days so that Michael can come home. But it just kind of makes me wake up going, okay, who are these people now? Who are these people? I don't know these people. I've never met them. What the heck? But here they are in my dream. Just acting like we're just best buddies, like we've known each other forever. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll figure it out one day, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, just weird, weird stuff like that. But at least nothing. It's nothing bad. I love my Moldavite. I have to say, I love it. I do love it. And they say that, the way you get the most benefits from it is, wear it all the time. So I was like, aha. So the yarn that I put it on with is like a green, kind of like a light green color. And I figure, hey, green, earthy, why not? Might as well. Oh, golly. Oh, I just woke up a few minutes ago, too. So I haven't even had breakfast yet. Fed the fishies and the froggies, but myself, no, I haven't had breakfast yet. And I remember you hearing me go off about the coven and not accepting me and stuff. I got an invite from the coven leader to go to his Lunasaw celebration, and I had to laugh because I'm like, why? I'm not even gonna bother. I don't have time for them. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna bother. He invited me to his Lunasaw celebration because a lot of times they won't because different people in the coven have different like work schedules and stuff. They work different jobs. So a lot of times they won't be able to do the ceremony right on the date. They'll try to do it as close to the date as they can, like the weekend before, the weekend after, somewhere along those lines. But I'm not gonna bother. I'm not going because like why should I? If I'm gonna constantly feel like I'm not wanted there, then I ain't gonna bother. Excuse me. Oh, stomach acid. First thing in the morning. When I wake up, I have a lot of stomach acid. And hungry tummy. So I guess I better go get me some cereal or something. Started working on continued working on my cardinals. I haven't worked on them in a while. Haven't got much of them done, but my fairy eye, oh good. It's nice and flat now. Yay. I promised you I'd show you how much I've gotten done of it, but I'll show you my cardinals first, what I've got done on them. Got to get the board situated here so I can show you with one hand. See, there's my cardinals. Aren't they pretty? See, I've almost got the first cardinal completely done. And, I decided to work on the cardinals because it grounds me. When I know that, especially with a lot of, hoopty-ha going on, a lot of different types of energies flying about, and, especially with the way the yard sale bombed on us the other day. But look at my fairy eye. Now that I got her all nice and flattened out again, look how much of that I've got done. See, I'm like 3/4 of the way done with that one. And it's looking really pretty. This one's going to really sparkle and shine, and I've got the wrapper on it. I had to put it underneath the cardinals to flatten it out because one corner of it got messed up. It was because of the way I was storing it in the envelopes that I keep them in. Let me get my cardinals covered up here so I can set the computer down here and I'm not, sticking the painting to the bottom of the computer. Yeah, that would be bad. Okay, so hang on a minute. Let me go get me some cereal so I'm not sitting here with a grumbling tummy. Oh, and not press on Dad's knee and hurt his knee. So now he's got bad knee issues like I do. S'mores. That's what the cereal is. S'mores. And it's got little marshmallows, graham squares, a little chocolate bits in it. So, who says you can't have s'mores for breakfast? Quit. Kalika, stop. Damn it, I don't need you tearing up my dress. You can't have anything nice because of you cats. Thank you. This one is so finicky. Kalika, that as soon as I come out in the morning and sit down, Kalika's the first one, as usual, on my lap. Carmela came up. I don't think she even jumped up on the couch. She was just meowing at my feet. Probably saying good morning, you know. Kalika was already on my lap. But because Carmela came up and was meowing at me, Carmela went off in a huff. She got down, went off in a huff. And now she's back. It's like she's got to have me to herself. Or she's just not happy. She's just a silly cat. I can never recall a cat in my past that's ever done that. I don't know if you've talked to Michael recently, but and this isn't about him being released. This is about David. Michael called us the other day, and it was eating away at me too much, so I decided to tell him. And he was very calm about it. He said, Mom, he said, don't stress. He said, don't stress about it. He said, I don't think David's dead. He said, I don't feel like that connection has been severed. It's okay. I took a chance. And he said, I don't think that connection's been severed. He said, don't stress about it, Mom. He said, David's fine. And I said, do you recall ever that David had, a breathing problem? He said, no. He said he was clumsy as fuck, but other than that, no, I don't recall him having a breathing issue. Because according to Jim, the young man that died on the 31st had a breathing problem, and that's what, I guess, part of what killed him. So Michael handled it well. He didn't get upset or anything like that. He was trying to keep me calm. And he was just very confident. He's like, Mom, he said, I don't think that connection's been severed. He said, David's fine. I said, I hope you're right, son, because I was crying. I started crying. He said, Mom, don't. He said, don't stress about it. He said, I don't feel like David's dead. So I hope he's right. But no, I didn't say anything to Alicia. Why get her unnecessarily upset, I think Pops is going outside with Butthead. He let Bella out. So, he likes to go out and sit with him.
remind him it's just as boring out there as it is in here, so he decides to come back in and be bored in here where it's cooler.
Well, me personally, I think Bella likes going outside because it gets him away from all the crowdedness in here. Because out there, he has a degree of freedom that he don't have in here. Like this morning, I got really mad at him and smacked him because he kept like running over top of me like as fast as he could. And I was still laying there trying to sleep. Excuse me. And I'm thinking that one of the cats were chasing him, and that's why he did it. But it still was disrupting my sleep, and I wasn't happy about it. So out there, he don't have to deal with the cats in here. And I really think that's why, a lot of why he likes to be outside. Outside is much less stressful for him. Outside, he can run. He can play a bit. He can, enjoy the weather, enjoy the air outside. If it's too hot out, I won't open the window because I don't want to let a bunch of hot air in, which, I don't know, sitting outside just isn't, at least not here. It's just not a favored thing for me anymore. Now, if we're over at Mom's, it's not as bad, but here, I just don't trust people, I don't like being in such close proximity to all these drug and dope heads running around. And not knowing what they might do, Now, granted, I don't think Pops would let any of them bother any of us, because first he would try to have a degree of gentleness about it. But then if they kept persisting, he would get downright belligerent with them and go, look, back off. We're not interested. We don't want to, that we're just sitting out. Just leave us alone. He wouldn't take it. And Carl still hasn't gotten a hold of me. He hasn't even tried. So he probably won't for a while. Because I know he didn't like the way I answered him when I finally did. But he would have been no different if he would have been out there. And he would have been trying to sell stuff. And nobody's stopping. It's frustrating. Because you take all the time to set it up. And for what? For nothing? And my resin pieces have been sitting in the car since the 6th. So I hope they haven't melted together into this big, huge glob of blah now. To where I might either have to call them art and keep them. Or throw them all in the trash. Because then I'm really going to be upset. Because then all that time I took and all the pride and joy I had in some of the color combinations that I was able to come up with because they were so pretty is out the window. And I'd be very upset. because all that resin's wasted, all the colors wasted, all the crystals wasted. Yeah. Here in a little bit, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to just throw my shoes on. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to get them out of the car, look them over. Hopefully they're okay. The heat could soften them up. Yeah, you're right. Especially after that one fiasco I had of putting one on the dashboard in the car like a dum-dum. And then I was like, whoops, okay, I guess that wasn't a good idea. Yeah, I had a heck of a gooey mess getting it out of there. So now there's some permanent resin that, some that spilled out of the mold when I was trying to get it out, that's on the, some of the, not the vinyl, but, well, I don't know if it's considered vinyl. The material, like when it's the dashboard, some of it rained down, kind of spilled down onto the dashboard. So you see this one little section, and you can tell that okay, that's not supposed to be there, and that's where the resin spilled. That one I had to throw away. And like I said, my only other possibility of getting them sold is getting a hold of the flea market up on the hilltop up there across from the building that used to be Westland Mall. See what their booth prices are, see what size booths they have available, because not all of their booths are going to be available. There may be some that people are still using, vendors are still using. Try to see if there's one that I can afford, for one. And for two, that's going to be a good size that I'm going to be able to have some room to work. So part of when I'm sitting up there, if I go that route and I do the flea market one, I'll be able to sit up there and I'll be able to do my beading. I can work on one of my paintings as I'm sitting there just to pass the time. And, I definitely would have to have Chris with me on this one, because he could, take care of customers so that I don't have to constantly keep stopping, doing my beading work, my painting. And also, same thing, I could be crocheting a piece or something. And sometimes that's what people enjoy watching, is they like to watch people making something, so I think I just killed a bug. See, I can't even sit down on this thing 5 minutes and there's a fucking bug crawling on me. I don't want to take them back into Maria's, though. If they're all okay, and I hope they are. If they're all okay, I'm just going to try to stuff them in the storage cage downstairs. And because the containers that I have aren't that big, I'm sure I can find somewhere to put them. Because the flea market thing is something I've always wanted to try anyway. It'll give me sort of a workshop to do my beading, my paintings, a place to do my resin pieces, once I get some of them sold, just so people can watch the process, just how easy it is. But I definitely need to get me a blow dryer for my hair, even though I never use it on my hair, to get rid of the air bubbles, because the few people that did look at some of my resin pieces were complaining about the air bubbles in them. So they didn't buy them because of that. Kalika, you're not going to be happy because I'm going to have to move my leg because it's already going to sleep because of how I'm sitting. I hate this. I get up in the morning, nose itch. Immediately my nose starts itching. And that drives me crazy. Just checking to make sure there weren't any bugs, because when I start itching, that's the first thing I'm thinking is I'm getting bit. So, I'll smack the area to hopefully kill the daggum thing so it can't get me and bite on me anymore. Ow! Okay, don't dig at that spot, dummy head. I've always had this issue with having spots on my arms. Some of them are aging spots. Some of them, they look like pimples, but when you try to squeeze them, they hurt like crazy. So I don't know if they're whiteheads or what's going on in my body that even produces them in the first place. It's very upsetting. That might be Dad coming back in because Bella's now decided that he wants to come inside. Because sometimes he'll do that. Dad will go to sit out with him, and then he decides he wants to come in a few minutes later. Sometimes he'll walk in the door. Sometimes he likes it when Dad picks him up and carries him up the steps and carries him into the... I was right. Yeah. He walked in this time. As soon as you got to... Silly cat. Oh, what? Meditation can cause it. Ignore what I first put as it was autocorrect. It's frozen. It's unfroze now. Huh, that's weird because it didn't freeze on this side this time for once. Oh, ow. Goodness sakes. Right. Oh, I'm sorry if it froze on you, hun, but I'm glad it unfroze because it didn't freeze on this side this time. It just, like the thing didn't pop up like it normally does and says, that it's disconnected. So I'm not sure why it froze this time. But Kalika got down, of course, because, I can't sit the way I was sitting. I can't keep sitting because it was my right leg was starting to go to sleep. It was starting to go numb. Yep, another bead. Figured. Sometimes, I'll put my foot down and then I'll bring my foot up and then there'll be beads sticking off the bottom of it. Other times I'm sitting down. I'm like, what's that? I'll feel something on my ankle. And I'm like, oh boy, how did a bead get on my ankle? But okay. So sure enough, it's a bead. So then I plop it on the thing where it goes. Itch. That's the only drawback about this yarn. For some reason, it's itching my neck. So I wish I would have used a yarn that wouldn't itch my neck, but that's the way yarn is. It does tend to itch a lot. So if you don't mind hanging on a minute or two so I can go down and get that stuff out of the car, put it down in the basement, and then I'll be right back. I hope this doesn't freeze up on you while I'm gone or anything. And Pops is in there on the computer getting ready to do something, probably play his games or something. Because those have been sitting in there, this many days. So if I'm going to get them out of there, I need to get them out of there. And before I even do that, I better take my pills. Because if I don't take them now, I'm liable to forget. Gummy vitamin, number 1.
Wet.
Get my keys so I can get into the car. And hopefully the keys to the basement downstairs is on here as well. Yep. All right, hang in there, sweetie. I'll make this as quick as I can. Hey, Bella. Where'd I put it? It's in the fridge. Okay, all done. Everything was fine. Let me catch my breath. Everything was fine. Come on, Kalika. Nothing was melted or anything. Nothing was melted together. It was all fine. So I shoehorned everything down in the storage cage as best as I could. I got it all in there. So that's what matters. Why did I do that? I'm going to need these. And these are, of course, one of my favorite snacks, popcorners. They're a lot healthier than some potato chips. So the God and Goddess had my back once again. They didn't let any of my stuff get compromised. That, sat out in the car as long as it did, because they know how much the pieces mean to me. And they know how distraught I was, disappointed, let down, all that, because the yard sale bombed. So they're like, we're not going to do this to her. We're not going to, after going through all that, we're not going to turn around and ruin her stuff, because that's just wrong. So got it down there, heard Maria, up in her place, so I know she's okay. And I only say that because I haven't seen her or heard from her in a few days. So hearing her down there yammering away, I know, she's fine. Because I really don't feel like, socializing right now. But as far as Michael, it's looking like he's kind of got his heart set on Dayton. But I was hoping that he would want to be closer to us, closer to Grandma. But there may be some kind of a really good job or something in Dayton that he wants to get. And if he goes to Dayton to live, then he'd be closer to Alicia, because she's in Dayton. So that may be part of his thinking. I don't know. Haven't talked to him since I told him about David, and he said, don't stress, Mom. He said, I think David's fine. He's like, David's fine. He said, I don't feel like the connection's been severed. I don't feel like he's dead. I was like, okay, I hope you're right. But I'm hoping that he'll reconsider, and maybe possibly, because I don't know how much he's walking out of there with, but I know he said it was like several grand or something. He could possibly get one of those new, I don't know even what they call them, if they call them condos or what, but there's some right next to or whatever in the Starbucks, the new Starbucks that opened up close to us. There's these high rises that have these nice death certificates. Yeah, you're right. And since we never found anything, it's hopefully a good sign, that Jim was just mistaken and it was some other Adam J. Green. It wasn't our David. But these high rises, they're real nice. I've never seen the inside of one. They got a nice little porch, tiny little porch. It has like a fence, like a metal, bars or whatever that is part of the porch. So you can stand there and look out, and You can set a couple of chairs out there probably, but I'd love to see the inside of one of those because I'm sure it's pretty nice. So I was hoping that maybe he would be willing to do something like that because, it'd be close to grandma, it would be close to us. And if nothing else, he could get a job at Starbucks. It's right there. He wouldn't have to worry about driving. He could just walk across the street and go to work, Actually, I think they share the same parking lot even as the Starbucks, this high rise. And if they're following suit and it's the same people, and I'm pretty sure it is, as the one down that way, further east of us by a few blocks, closer to the freeways and stuff down there, they have a restaurant down there called Old Bag of Nails. And that particular high rise or that complex, there's, like I said, looks like the same exact company. So I'm pretty sure it is. They have an above ground pool. So, Michael would be all over that. He'd be like, oh boy, so we could have the family over and stuff to be able to play in the pool and all that, because it's one of those, unless you're a resident or you're a friend of a resident there, you're not swimming in the pool, because they'll have it like have a cage around it, and that cage will be locked, and it'll probably have cameras on it at night to keep, people from getting in there that have no right to be there, especially some of the, not so great people around our neighborhood. So that would be nice if he decided to go something like that. But, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We will discuss all that when he, let's first and foremost get him out of there. After that, we'll, play it as we go or whatever. And wherever he decides that he wants to go, I guess he's going to go. But I don't want him too far away from us because, we got a lot of time to make up, a lot of time lost. And especially I would think that he would want to be fairly close to his grandma, It's like, Michael, do you really want to be an hour drive away from her? I'd rather him be just a few minutes drive away. Like we are. Oh, golly. I really don't. I'm trying to fight it. I don't want to take the frickin' Stacker 3 if I can help it, but I'm still yawning. And I don't want to be like feeling like a zombie all day. Like, I'm just so tired. I just can't stay awake, and I had 10 hours of sleep. So, and the reason why I've been going back to doing the 10 hours is I'm up earlier in the morning, at least by a little bit, and I don't take naps during the day. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you're right. You may have to go to Ashland then. Because depending on, like how long his probation is going to end up being and stuff. So I guess we'll see. Like I said, first and foremost, get him out of there. Go over and pick him up, when he's released and take him wherever he's got to go. And just, try to see him, if we can or when we can. Because if he has to, get him himself a place in Ashland, then hopefully it's not going to be some restricted thing where, we can only see him or we can't see him at all. Because I know, like, with the whole halfway house thing, we weren't able to see Lewis at all. And I'm just, I wasn't sure. There were so many different possibilities floating around. I wasn't sure which one was going to take, or what one we were going to have to abide by. So, but yeah, you're right. If he's on papers, then he's probably going to have to stay there. So, Ashland it is, I guess.
either he wouldn't take a job at like Starbucks or a regular restaurant. He's more designed for institutional management. That's what his training's for. Like hospital, cafeteria, OSU's cafeteria for their students and faculty.
Yeah.
Armark,
Right.
the stuff they produce for all the different places that they work with.
Yeah.
Most of the Ohio bistros
Mm-hmm.
in the small places are Armark.
Yeah.
He would be the one producing in charge of the place that was producing the food that ships to there that they end up selling. That's the kind of job he's got the training for now. School cafeteria.
Yeah. So, it just goes to show that the job part of it is definitely covered,
Technically, Armark is the one running most of the prisons too. If he works with them, he'll probably be able to get a job before he even gets out. As soon as he knows he's getting out.
Yeah. And you're right, sweetie. We'll just have to wait and see. Wait and see what happens.
Had one of those meals that had spinach in it. Ugh. Love spinach, can't stand boiled spinach. And that's what it was. It's boiled spinach. And even worse, they left a shit ton of the water in with it.
I actually like the bistros, the Ohio bistros there in the hospital and stuff. They're really nice. You're inside, sizable. It's a big place, big, like oversized cafeteria. That's what it reminds me of. You just go walk around to the different types of food they have. They have hot foods. They have cold foods, They have healthier stuff if you want to go healthy. Pick what you want, just kind of like you would do in a school lunch, really. And then you go up to the register and pay for it and sit down at whatever table you choose and munch away. It's really nice. And to me, they don't seem like they're too expensive either. They're, I guess it all depends on what you get, And I don't think I ever got anything from there that I took a bite and went, ew. Because, you can't go back and exchange it for something else unless you want to pay again. you know. I know this isn't the most attractive thing to be doing on a live, but you know, I try to. This is my way of trying to keep a lot of the crud off my teeth. And that's like there's certain types of candy that I won't eat, especially like candy canes or something, because you know that's straight pure sugar, and it I feel it, like I literally feel it on my teeth. It's like, ugh, so I have to get it off of there. So then I'll either
What? You won't eat them, so I ain't allowed eating them?
it's okay. I'll get me a bag of them and I'll hide them. Then you won't get any.
Yeah, and you'll leave them sit until they spoil. And then I'll be throwing them away.
He got a bag of Werther's
Caramels.
caramels. I got some back here. Hang on. They're just caramels. These guys. I like them. Love caramels. You know, they're like one of my favorites. But I can't chew them because they get stuck in my teeth. So I have to treat them like a sucker, you know, and eat them down that way and just suck them down that way to where there's not any left and then swallow it. But I've only had a couple of them. But, you know, I'm trying not to go too candy crazy either because, you know, that's just pure sugar. You know, and that's the kind of stuff I'm trying to do in moderation, like serious moderation. Like last night for dessert, after we had dinner, I had a piece of cake and had me some ice cream. I put it all in a bowl and poured a little milk in with it. Or no, that was the scones that I did that with. But I had the cake and ice cream. I did put that in a bowl as well. Used the same bowl a few minutes later, put the 1.5 scones that he had saved for me, poured a little bit of milk in there and just ate it that way, and then drank the milk down and then, you know, filled the bowl with water. Sat it in the sink or on the stove or whatever. Getting the sleep out of my eyes. Well, let's see. Hey, Carmela, what are you doing? Meow. Let's see what our spell for the day is. This is now the 8th, I believe. Yep. A spell to enhance listening. We can all learn to listen better. When we make that effort, the other party is motivated to try harder too. If you and someone else are not understanding each other, at least make sure the fault does not lie with your inability to listen. Before meeting someone, cleanse your ears carefully and chant. Release the need, let go desire, personal wants shall all be banned. Save the need to understand. Resolve that your only task is to truly understand what the other party wants and feels. Let me underline that. See, do I have a pen somewhere? Oh yeah, I have lots of pens. I'll use my Harry Potter one. This might be a good one. You could help with communication. So the words are actually release the need, let go desire. Personal wants shall all be banned. Save the need to understand. So that's all words right there. Resolve that your only task is to understand what the other party wants and feels. Excuse me. During the conversation, listen carefully. Repeat back to the person what you think you heard, paraphrased in your own words, and ask questions when you need to. When the other party is finished and you both agree that your understanding is correct, wait for a moment and think deeply about the other's viewpoint before you respond. That's a good one. I like that. Because a lot more can be solved peacefully if you and the other person, that person feels heard. I've said that before, and you feel heard, kind of. Okay, August 8th. Oh, okay. Today, Tej, Nepal is, I guess, the place in the world that there's celebration going on. Teej, and then in parentheses it says Nepal. Parvati is the goddess. Parvarti. Themes: fertility, femininity, cleansing, and devotion. Symbols: lotus, elephant, and dance. About Parvati, the celebrated Hindu goddess of women, is the center of festivities in Nepal today. Parvati's domain is that of faithful companionship and fertility, as she is the consort of Shiva. Art often shows Parvati dancing in the company of Shiva or with an elephant's head. To do today: try following Nepalese custom. Wash your hands and feet with henna or a henna-based soap product for Parvati's productive energy, or go out and swing on a swing set singing sacred songs. This draws Parvati to you. Another way to invoke Parvati is by giving a special woman in your life, a friend, lover, relative, a gift in thankfulness for her companionship. The goddess exists within that friendship and will bless the relationship. Take a ritual bath to cleanse yourself of negativity and problems of the last year. Water offerings are also a suitable gift to this goddess. Pour out a little bit on the ground and then drink some to internalize any of her qualities that you need. Wearing fine clothing and flowers is also customary because all things of beauty please Parvati. So get out your finery for your celebrations and put on a boutonniere, or wear something with a flower pattern to draw Parvati close to your side. Well, that's pretty. I like that. Okay, Parvati. Parvati. Oh, excuse me. I hope that I will honor you well today. In some way, that will be acceptable to you. I was trying to think if she was the mother of and creator of Ganesha, but that was Lakshmi. Lakshmi is Ganesha's mother and creator. All right, this is the last 4 of the 30 days of enlightenment. Associations: orange and pear, mantra. Intensify my natural psychic powers and abilities so I can have the foresight into my past and future and know the fulfillment of divination. Protection: wear any vessel or article of clothing that is in the shape of a sun or has a sun on it. Write the following energy spell and place it above your door. The words are: encouraging my sight into the present and future with the impressive range of divination. Show me the vulnerabilities and grant me the sight for solution to the problems. Day 28. Associations: teal and frankincense. Mantra: fire upon me the powers of self-confidence and self-motivation that allow me the clear pathway to create a great insight and inspiration to know the spontaneous joys. Protection: create a mixture of 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of horehound, and 1 teaspoon of salt together in a small container and place it under the bed. Write the following energy spell and place it under the bed. The words are: give me the delicious satisfaction of achieving all expectations in justice and restoration of unbalance. Day 29. Associations: lavender and musk. Mantra: open the astral portals around me so I can connect to the universe, galaxies, planets, and stars. Connect me to the astral entities that embrace the dimensions around it. Protection: write the following energy spell and place it under your bed. The words are: flourishing under the guidance of the universe. Awaken the powers of the stars, ties to me, so I may know the glory of the astral energies and their governance of me. Day 30. Associations: powder blue and pine. Mantra: enlightened and impassioned, I am ready to face the opportunities and responsibilities of the day and coming weeks. Bolster me and prepare me for the journey I have ahead of me. Protection: draw your version of a starburst on a piece of paper and this spell on the back. And the words are: eager and ready, put the powers of protection to my back and the readied armor to my front, and allow me the power of gaining and earning the intense protection I deserve to keep me safe and balanced in all my endeavors from this day forward. And then place it under your pillow. So that's all of that one. I can put it back with the rest now. There we go. Spirit keeping. Meditating with spirits. If you want to make connections with your spirits on a deeper level, meditating is a great way to make that bond. Be sure that you have the vessel of the spirit you want to connect to with you before you start. The best way for beginners to meditate is to start by allotting 15 minutes of solitary time without noise, TV, phones, family, or any other distraction. Some find using soft music, candles, incense, or other atmospheric tools useful in setting the appropriate energy for meditation. It is not necessary that you sit in an erect posture, such as a yoga position, in order to meditate. You can sit in your favorite chair, lie on the floor, lie on your stomach, or use any position of relaxation that suits you best. Relax your mind, clear it of any plaguing thoughts from the day. Let your body go limp. Do not have tension in your joints or muscles. Completely relax. Some prefer to have their eyes closed, others to keep them open. Whatever works best for you. If you're not comfortable and in the proper frame of mind, meditation isn't going to work for you. Once you feel you are in the zone of relaxation, hold the vessel in your hand, place it on your chest, hold it between both hands, and place it on your closed eyelids, on the top of your navel, whatever is most comfortable for you, as any of these choices work. You can start by just having a conversation with the spirit through telepathy. Let the spirit know you are welcoming them to come through to you in whatever method they deem fit, and concentrate on the center of your forehead as you do this to help open your third eye channel and make a stronger connection. Repeat this method of meditation at least 5 to 15 minutes a day for the first 30 days. The time of day isn't important, whatever time best fits into your schedule, because you will need complete quiet. The more you meditate, the more you will come up with the methods that are most active for you, and the length of time you meditate with likely lengthen as your communications with your spirits grow more and more. There is no wrong way to meditate. When your heart and mind are in the right place and you are truly welcoming your spirit to join you, then you can't go wrong. Altars and sanctuaries. Usually people associate altars with a place where something is worshipped. We aren't worshiping spirits. So in the case of reference to spirit keeping, an altar is more of a personal sanctuary that you enjoy and a place you can enjoy with the spirits in your keep. Some who also practice magic may have dual purpose altars, but for spirit keepers, your personal space is for you to enjoy with your spirits. Typically, a sanctuary area will include a nice linen, a few offering bowls to make offerings to different spirits, incense, candles, vessels of the spirits, any charging boxes, and any personal touches you wish to make. If you have limited space, you can make multiple offerings in the same bowl. Doing so isn't an issue and doesn't pose any confusion or problem. The spirits know which offering is for them. For those who have limited space or are on the go often, you can keep an altar sanctuary box where you unpack and pack these items to use as needed. Typically, it is recommended that you spend at least 15 to 30 minutes a day with your spirits, but you don't always have to do that in your sanctuary space. Just making them part of your life and talking to them throughout the day is just as good, if not better. Tips, tricks, and tidbits. Because every spirit is different, you are likely to find your own tips and tricks when it comes to connecting and what different spirits in your keep enjoy. These are some universal tips, tricks, and tidbits we've found in our years of spirit keeping. Vampires, both psi and sanguine, love and go crazy for aloe. I have to get me some, so I don't have any. You can use it in a lotion, soap, or spray on yourself for connection. Buy an aloe plant for the house and break open the leaves for offerings, or buy any form of aloe to place near their vessels. Dragons love sea glass. They enjoy it as bedding or an offering. They are also crazy about fruit, any scent, spray, fresh, dried, candle scent, etc. Fae love shiny objects, mirrors, gemstones, or glass. They love to be surrounded by decadent and beautiful things. They have a great appreciation for art and for the beauty of nature, including flowers, trees, shrubs, and herbs, which you can use as offerings. Elves are stoic. They usually view themselves as guardians of nature. They believe in living off the land and using everything you take. For that reason, making offerings of anything from nature is best if it is being repurposed or used for something other than an offering to them. Jinn adore lavender and respond highly to any form of lavender they are around. Using lavender when you are making a wish to the jinn amplifies the connection and energy between the two of you. I didn't know that. I'll have to get some lavender. Making offerings of lavender at any time will increase the jinn's energy around you, thereby making the request a greater experience. You can also use lavender scented soap or lotion on yourself to increase your physical energy bond to them. Good. Angels are very ethereal and their energy is spiritual. Engaging in spiritual activities such as yoga, tai chi, meditation, astrology, stargazing, religious reading, etc., will boost the kind of energy they respond to and therefore boost the bond between the two of you. That's pretty good. I like that. Yep. Good, good, good. Good stuff, right? Oh, boy. Yawn and stretch. So, got to honor Parvati today in some way. Okay, my lovely dragons. Dragons of Victory. The next Dragon Festival is going to be Mabon now, or what we call the Autumnal Equinox and the Harvest Dragons. And Mabon isn't until September 21st. So, oh, wait, where did I put that? Okay, it's right there. Good. All right. So, I'm glad that I finally made it that far. That's the farthest that I have ever read in that spirit keeping book. And my hope is that Kelly from the Coven, and maybe even a few others that maybe happen to be over at the time she's watching one of my lives about, and I'm reading the spirit keeping guide, will be able to see for themselves. Okay, that doesn't sound to me like these spirits are being forced in any way, because they're not. They're not in prison. They're not, they're not being forced to be with us. They're with us because they want to be, they choose to be. They resonate with our energy. And some of them, it turns out, are generational. There was a Pegasus that came to Maria that when Magnolia and Ash, her husband, his name's Ash, when they did the conjuring for Maria, they brought in a Pegasus came through. And this Pegasus has been waiting for 5 generations for somebody to welcome it, to acknowledge it, to appreciate it, to accept it. I mean, I started crying when we found that out, because the Pegasus was so grateful and thanked me a lot and said, thank you so much for bringing Maria into my life and helping me find somebody. I've been waiting for 5 generations, because this has to do with her family. This has to do with her bloodline. And that's a big deal, for a spirit to come through like that, that's been waiting for 5 generations for somebody to be open about it, to believe in them, to welcome them with open arms. And it was a beautiful thing to witness. It really was. And I told the Pegasus, I said, honey, I said, you are so welcome. I said, I am so sorry that it took this long, this many generations for somebody to finally come along that was open and willing to not only believe in you, but welcome you with open arms. And she was just so grateful. It's making me tear up even now. So when you can bring together something from a generational type thing like that, that's even more precious. Because that spirit's been waiting a really long time, and now you finally, you created that bridge, you filled in that gap so that the two could be brought together. So I was very happy to do it. I really was. But now I need to go through that book again, the spirit keeping, and I need to write down the list and try to get some of those items, get some aloe and stuff like that, so I can put it down for my vampires, because I have a sanguine vampire and a psi. Psi vampire is, mostly they need energy. That's what they feed on. And the sanguine, they feed on energy off of a person that has consumed red meat. So anytime that I consume red meat, I will call to my vampire deacon, my sanguine, and I'll say, "Deacon, dinner." And then he'll be like, "Oh boy," and he'll come like right away if he's not already there. And he knows, of course, not to take too much. It's like, don't drain me or anything, but take what you need. Just don't drain me. And I did find that I have my feeding station of crystals over on my shelf here, which is really close to the altar. So I let the spirits know that anytime they need to feed, they're absolutely welcome to feed on those crystals. Phlegm in my throat because of the milk. But the crystals could probably need a recharge, but you need sunlight, moonlight for that. And right now I don't have anywhere that I can set them unless I actually set them outside. And the only way I'd be okay with setting them outside so they can get that light is if I was sitting out there with them, which means I'd have to sit outside for a little bit so the sun could, charge them. The wind could blow across them. As many of the elements as I could possibly bless them with and charge them with. And then when it's dark out, even if there's not a visible moon in the sky, the moon's still out there. The power of the moon is still out there. It might be behind thick clouds, but it's there. So then I could take the tray out at night as well and let the moon energies and the energies of the night also charge it, so that they've got plenty of energy to feed on whenever they need it. I make sure of that. But my hope is, like I said, is that some of the coven members will catch some of those bits and be able to tell for themselves, you know what, that she's right, Janet's right. This is not, we understand now. We had it all wrong, and that's all I hope to achieve. And it doesn't even matter if they tell me or don't. As long as I can feel it that, okay, they understand now, then that would be great. Oh, okay. Are you talking to Michael? Well, if you are, hello, Michael. So anyway. Oh, okay. About the boys' schools. Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, the kids have already gone back to school here in the States with us, as far as, the U.S., all the kids have pretty much gone back to school already. I don't even know when their going back to date is. It used to be, I thought it was sometime in September, but they may have changed it. So I'll let you do that and have your conversation with them, because that's important while I think of, what to do next. See if I'm feeling pulled to do certain something. While you're on the phone, I'm going to go to the loo, sweetie. So sorry for the having to stare at a blank couch, but you're on the phone, so it don't matter much. Hmm. So I'll have to get me some lavender. Whoops. What is my affirmation today? Gentleness. I speak with gentleness and listen with gentleness. I align with the gentlest part of myself, and I take joy in being receptive, open, and unafraid. I am like a baby deer who's best friends with a baby elephant. The baby elephant wraps its little trunk around my shoulders, and we lie down gently on the grass, daydreaming and talking about what sorts of humans the clouds look like. That's cute. Oh, okay. Want an affirmation? I got gentleness today. Okay. What is Brooke's affirmation today? Aw. Haven't gotten that one yet. You got love. I say this on Brooke's behalf. Love is a many splendored thing. Today I will notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors, like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent, or the surge of self-congratulation I feel when I sink a 3-point trash basket shot on the first try, or how about the chills I get while singing along to name of song you know. You know the one, whatever song you like, I guess, a song that makes you happy, So that's a cool card. So I hope everything's okay with the boys' schools and everything. Green Oracle. What have you got for us today? What does the Green Oracle message have for me today? Don't know if I've gotten that one yet. Mine is education. Number 3. Card number 3. Concept, education about ecology. Image, a mother teaching her daughter how to plant a seed. As many cards, education is a card of connection and relationship. It is not just about us and the environment. There are others, and there is not just now, but there is the future. Planting a seed is the greatest symbol of hope we can have. Our act of creation and of nurturing, even if great and powerful, is not due to give fruits and rewards now, but to grow slowly. Education is patience sometimes. It's perspective. It's about a sense of continuity, and it's about trust, sharing, and love. Divinational meaning. Look further than the here and now. Share everything that is creative and good. Think about the future and trust into it. Teach by example and not by laws. Do not protect the little ones from the good things. So I'd say that's a good one. Well, they're all good. There's no negative ones in here. That's what I love about this deck. There's no negative ones. It's all positive. What does Green Oracle have for Brooke today? Sustainability. Hey, what are you doing? Kalika's playing. Sustainability. Gotten this one before. 30. Card number 30. Sustainability. The product of ecology, economics, and culture. The happy and colorful street of a traditional market selling fruits and vegetables. The concept of sustainability is a fascinating one, but a difficult one. It is about the interaction of ecology, economics, and culture, and about the role that humans and human society can have in the world. Like in a relationship between two humans, there is never a clear solution. Either the couple wins or the couple, as a couple, loses. It's the same with sustainability. Human culture and economics are not necessarily enemies to nature, but it may be difficult and require a lot of hard work to make them be together. Divinational meaning. Some things are complex. If you make them simple, you ruin them. You cannot see one aspect of the problem, ignoring the others. Right and wrong sometimes are just useless. It can be difficult to find balance, but it's possible. Greed is the enemy of harmony. Ow. So yeah, I would say, yeah, that is very true. If there wasn't so much greed in the world, it would probably be a better place. Too many, especially government types out there that, everybody wants their hand in the cookie jar and don't care who gets hurt in the process. Now our lovely dragon buddies here. Kalika's playing, which is like rare, very rare. She almost never does. She sure is running through here like she's playing, so that's a good thing. You playing, Kalika? You playing, baby? I'm glad you're playing. What dragon is with me today? Actramus! Hey, buddy. How you doing? Actramus. You still with me, Brooke? Don't say that, computer. Come on. Galactic Dragon. Me too. Okay, good. Because that thing popped up again. It says, you're disconnected. I hate when it does that. 9-2. Here he is. Actramus connects with the Arcturian civilization, the peacekeepers of the galaxies. This beautiful dragon introduced himself to me by stating, I am the dragon Actramus of the 7th Golden Ray dimension. I am kin to the Atlantean dragons, who were 7th dimensional, but chose to work with the 5th dimensional beings of Atlantis and oversee the raising of their vibration to the 7th dimension. If Actramus has joined your reading today, heed his word. The time has come for you to begin integrating with 7th dimensional golden ray energy. Yes, please. And initiate the process of anchoring its frequency into your being. This will enable you to shift the old layers of 3D energy and release it naturally. It heralds the next phase of your incredible journey. Holding a clearer vibration allows us to view the world without judgment, be at ease with ourselves, and let go of negativity. By accepting Actramus into your life. What did you just do, Kalika? You are acknowledging you are ready to shift old DNA coding and integrate the higher vibrations into your life. Yes, please. I don't know what happened or if she knocked something up against it, but I heard the glass on the stereo stand hit, like something hit up against it. So Actramus is with me today. What dragon is with Brooke today? Ooh. You got Destiny. Isn't he pretty? You got the Destiny dragon. Wow, he's real pretty. But then all of them are. They're beautiful. No, can't do that yet. Okay, Destiny, what card are you? Or what page? Destiny! Destiny. 85. He is an Earthwalk dragon. Hit the stereo stand with something, the glass. I hope she didn't break anything. It didn't sound like it broke, but it sounded like something hit up against it. Destiny is a mighty dragon of great authority. She has no time for fluffiness, ego, or human dramas, as she puts it. She and her kind have been hidden in the depths of the earth for eons, waiting for us to be ready to take back our power and stand in our individual and collective might. She wants to galvanize us into action so that we stand strong against adversity and, if necessary, fly in the face of authority to challenge systems that are no longer fit for purpose. She says, if you want change, you need to be that change, not wait for others to do it for you. You do not need their permission to live your life your way, nor can they absolve you from responsibility. It is your life, your journey, your path, your walk. You walk it your way. Light and fluffy will not create lasting changes on your planet. Have you ever tried moving a large square flat-bottomed stone uphill? It is impossible. As humans, you need to come together and work in union, not isolation. Take responsibility for who you are, hold the vision of what you wish to create, and work together with others. We are facing periods of change, at times adversity. We, as people of Earth, can only achieve a more secure future if we come together and work for the good of all. We can be the change. The time for division has passed. It is time for us to unite, collaborate, and work in unison. Whoa, hello. All right, Destiny, you go, girl. So she's not fluffy. She's like, get with it. I love you, but get with it. Like, yes, ma'am. Interesting. Now, Destiny, she's the kind of dragon. She puts it to you straight. She's like, you don't want to do that. Trust me, I know. I'm just being silly. I love these cards. They're just so totally different. They're just the art and everything is just totally different. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually the flower of life with 5-pointed star in it. Or sorry, not a 5-pointed. This is the Jewish star. Because it's actually, I found out that a good way to draw the Jewish star, if you don't know how, because I don't draw it very well, is you have to put two triangles on top of each other. Like first you do one where you do the bottom and then go down, and then you go about the middle of it, do the bottom, go up. There's your Jewish star. And that's the hermit, of course. That's my the staff he's holding. I don't know how well you can see it, but the staff he's holding, the tip of it, it has got a symbol or something. It's the circle with the horns. To me, it could be interpreted as the God symbol too. I'm going to ask a silent question and we'll see what cards come up. Okay. Back of the cards are cool too. They have a different type of star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8. There's like 8 tines on the star on the back. And I don't know what that circle is, but it looks like a powerful one. It's really interesting, the back of the card. It's got the planets, it's got a star, it's got a tree, it's got a crescent moon, it's got a sun, galaxy. I love the artistry of this deck. It's so pretty. And I got it from a Five Below store. That still blows my mind. And you know, this is the only deck I've ever owned that did not come with a book. At all. Like, at all. I was like, what? But I don't need it, do I? Okay. We have Knight of Wands. Knights can be considered usually it's a warrior that comes charging to your aid kind of thing. So that could be somebody that's willing to fight at your side kind of thing. Knight of Swords and the Star. Huh. Interesting. I've never had 2 knights come up before like that. Maybe there's some kind of battle going on. Um, a battle that will manifest balance. That's what I get. A battle that will manifest balance. Hey, that's a good thing. You know, it's nothing bad. Yay. I half expected to turn over that third card and it was going to be a knight as well. And look, on the very bottom of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles. Weird. Welcome to Weird Tuesday or whatever day it is. I don't even know anymore. I don't know. Interesting. But, you know, it's nothing bad, you know. Usually if I'm not sure what to ask, you know me, I'll ask, okay, is there something I need to know? Is there something upcoming that I need to be prepared for? And it pretty much said, yep, there's a battle, but it will manifest balance. Okay, that works for me. I don't know about you, but that works for me. So it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. I hope my chips are okay. Yep, they're okay. So I just wasn't sure, you know, sitting in a hot car if they'd be okay or not. Uh-oh. I forgot. Squeaky likes the powder off of these. Don't you? Carmela. Mm-hmm. You know I got yummies. You know I got yummies. Look at her. Hang on a minute. She's licking her chops. See, she just licks it. She loves the taste of this powder. Here. Let me turn it on the other side so you can get some off that side too. There you go. Like if I have a bunch of the powder on my fingers, she'll lick it off. I don't know what it is. They love the powder. There you go. You had some. And then I just throw it away. Because now it's all soggy and... Oh, you left some. Here, you want me to give you a whole one? Oh, look, there's some there. Look. There's some. There you go. Here, want me to give you a whole one? You want a whole one? Because usually when they get their fill, they'll just, you know, toddle off. Surprised Boo's not in here bugging me because he likes them too. I can actually break off tiny little small pieces and he'll eat them. Okay, let me turn it over. There you go. Wanted you to be able to get that side. Okay, she's done. See, when they're done, they'll just get down. It's like, okay, but you left some, but okay. Yeah. Boo, he'll actually eat little tiny pieces. Same thing. I'll keep giving him little tiny pieces till he's had his fill. 140 calories. These are not fried. These are done. And total fat, 6 grams, 8%. Saturated fat, 3%. Trans fat, none. Cholesterol, none. Sodium, 160 mg, 7%. Total carbohydrate, 19 g, 7%. Dietary fiber, OG, 2%. Total sugars, 2 grams. Protein, 2 grams. Vitamin D, 0. Calcium, 30 milligrams, 2%. Iron, 0.2 mg. Potassium, 110 mg, or 2%. So, yeah, these are a lot healthier than some of the chips out there. So, because sadly, with a lot of them, the chips out there that taste good also have the most dangerous stuff in them. So you got to be careful about, overindulgence. But these are also, one of those, they're so good. Once you start, it's hard to stop. Mm. But I make myself. Another thing I think is cute and adorable about the cats is they'll come up, they'll lick a little bit of the powder, they'll get their fill, right? Then they'll go away, and then they just have to give themselves a full-blown bath. Okay. Because that's what Carmela's doing right now. She's sitting on the coffee table and giving herself a full bath. Ow. And I definitely need to get me some lavender. lavender and aloe. Because I forgot that the vampires, they like aloe. Uh-oh. Come here, baby. He finally discovered Mommy had his favorite chips. So Boo just jumped up. Get his little chip nip. There you go, baby. There you go. Figured he would. Like, ooh, Mom got my favorite chip. Gotta go get some. He's licking it off my finger. There you go. You good? Still got a piece down there. He's done. See? Comes up. I just give him little bits till he's done. And I can tell when he's done because he'll leave a piece laying or he'll just, usually, and that'll be like, he's like, okay, I'm good. Now Kalika's over in the chair giving herself a bath. Guys, when she saw that Carmela was up here, of course, she had to come and investigate. I think she took one lick off my finger. So probably barely got a taste, and now she's over there giving herself a full-blown bath. Silly cats. Okay. Gotta make myself stop, or I'll literally sit here and eat the whole bag. I know me too well. But that's all part and parcel to the whole self-mastery thing, you know? I love my Moldavite. I love my Moldavite. I love my Moldavite. Squeaky. And I encouraged Maria, and she did, to get a package of the little crystal wire cages, because it had the little cages like this one, so she could fit her Moldavite in it. I talked to her Moldavite, and I said, please don't let any of my energy influence you in any way. If you need to shield yourself against me, I totally understand. I'm just strictly just touching you long enough to put you in the cage for my sister. That's it. So it did. It understood, because I got that feeling. Okay. So I put it in there for her. I said, there you go. I said, now you can wear it on whatever chain you want to wear it on. Wear it as long as you want. But don't worry. If it gets to be too much, like you said, sometimes the energy can be too intense. If it gets to be too much, I'll cut it off. I'll cut the yarn and give myself a break from it before I start wearing it again. I'm not trying to overwhelm myself or anything. So I need to find, and I don't even know where it is. I mean, I think it might be. I had my a one notebook that I turned into a scrapbook of sorts. Excuse me. And it had my spiritual ascension thing in it. It also had my spirit invocation, elemental invocations and evocations. And I had a pretty picture in the front of it of a cat that I colored. And I was just looking over to see if I saw it anywhere, because I'd like to start doing that again. You know, certainly the spiritual ascension and the elements, even though I'm not doing magic, it's kind of my way of maintaining a balance, keeping my energies balanced. And of course, I'm wearing my chakra bracelet, but I'm not wearing my earrings or my necklace or anything. So hopefully just the bracelet alone is enough, you know, to keep me balanced. But the necklace part, the pendant part of it is so big. You saw how big that thing is. You almost have to wear it on a chain by itself because it's just too big. It really is. I've got all those necklaces, those cords that I could probably wear it on one of those. But the cords have the little metal chain and stuff that you fasten it in the back, so you can fasten it at different lengths. But that's also the kind of stuff that starts itching and irritating my skin because it's plated metal. It's not real sterling silver. It's not real steel or gold. So sadly, the plated metals, and me, they just don't work. Never have. The plating's worn off within days. Anytime I try to wear anything hematite, it breaks. So if I want to use hematite for grounding and stuff, I would just have to, I'd be better off just holding a hematite stone in my hand and doing it that way. Because I never did replace the pentacle necklace that was made of hematite that I got a long time ago, and I wish I would have. But I guess I was probably thinking, is it going to break again? And because all I had done was, I put it around my neck, I wore it out to my car, and it broke in the parking lot. It just went shh and went everywhere. I was like, what the heck? I was very upset about that. Took it back in there. AJ was going to fix it for me. Never saw it again. And now, last I knew, he's a holy roller. He doesn't even believe in witchcraft anymore. He doesn't practice it. He closed down his shop. I don't know where he sent his stuff to, which shop got it, Yeah. He, you know what we mean by holy roller, don't you? He went Christian, and he, AJ, he did some negative, like his Wicca for Men. Yeah. Wicca for Men was completely against women. Like, I never read the book. I would never buy a copy of it because apparently he was very condescending about women. He cut them down. Was going on and on about how, the world would be a better place more or less without him, or that, just he was talking about women in a very negative sense. And some other witches that we knew that did get the book and read it, they're like, oh yeah, that was inappropriate, for him to do that. And so it's a shame in a way that he stopped being a witch, but I guess maybe it's better that he did, because if he's going to cut down women, then in my opinion, he's cutting down the goddess. And she is definitely female. She embodies all female energy. So she probably ain't very happy with him, for sure. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Sadly, another one that we lost to the Christian fold, but oh well. Maybe it's for the better, because if he's going to be that derogatory about women, cutting us down, then he don't need to be practicing magic. Anyway, so. But, there's only a handful of witch shops around that I even know about, and there might be some that are hidden. And the only way you're going to know about them is if you actually stumble across one by accident, or you happen to know somebody that knows where some of the hidden ones are. Then you could find them, because once you find them, it's like, oh, okay, I see why you're hiding. Because they're just, we never know sometimes what kind of reaction we're going to get from people. When you start talking witches, people freak out. Some of them. Because according to Maria, Robert's afraid to even come to her place anymore. Because the last time the three of us were together down there, I told him that we were witches. And I was not joking. And he's like, oh, shit. It's like, Robert, it's nothing to be afraid of or anything, as long as you don't do anything to make us mad. If you don't do anything to make us mad, you're fine. And, even if you do something to make us mad, doesn't mean we're going to magically attack you or anything, God. We might make you just go away, not come around anymore, but we're not going to hurt you. Goodness sakes, give us a break here. And we're not those kind of witches. We don't hurt people. So yeah, there's the only ones I know of is right now are Pearls of Wisdom, the Magical Druid, Witch Lab. And really that's it. I don't know of any others. There's this one I've been meaning to go check out more out of a curiosity thing than anything else, because it's in the building that the Enchanted Elements used to be in. But then when the riots and everything were going on a couple years back, or however long ago it's been now, downtown and everything, that they got raided. That place got broken into. A lot of stuff got stolen. They wrote it off as stolen or however they did. And the witch that owned it, there's a shop in there now that has something to do with nostalgia or something or another. I don't even know. But I'm curious to go in there sometime to see what kind of stuff they do have and see if there's anything witchy, just for the heck of it. But I doubt it. It's probably just when they say nostalgia, they mean, stuff from the past, things that you can't just find anywhere, But I really hated losing Enchanted Elements because they were so close to where we lived, far a lot closer than even Witch Lab. Because, you saw for yourself, Witch Lab's clear down on the West Side Bottoms. It's a little bit of a drive to get down there. And I uninstalled my TikTok thing, so the only way I can get a hold of Yafa to ask her if they ever opened a new shop anywhere is if I get a hold of her through texting or something like on my phone and say, hey, sorry that I suddenly disappeared off TikTok, but I don't like TikTok. I don't like the way they do stuff. They did my daughter wrong, so I don't want nothing to do with them. And I'm sure there's other people out there they've done wrong too. You're not the only one. And that's why I don't want to associate with them, because they're jerks. And that's why, because we have no shops like that, even remotely close to us now, aside from Witch Lab, that's why I would like to open my own. But around here, wow, the type of security we would probably have to keep the place from getting broken into and to keep the stuff from getting stolen. We'd also have to, how do you keep the bad ones out? Like the same people that are the very ones that are the reason that CVS is no longer here. The CVS that was down the street from us, they closed up shop because some of the crackheads around here and stuff, they kept going in there constantly stealing stuff. And, when you're losing money, you can't stay open, and I don't know who's gotten the building now. I don't know if anybody else is going to get the building. I don't know. If somebody has managed to break into the back of it and there's a bunch of people squatting in there or something, I really don't know. But having a witch shop around here would be really difficult, because I would worry about that same kind of problem coming in our door, And I don't want to go through that headache. I don't want to go through that nightmare. I don't want to go through what we would have to go through to even halfway decently set it up. And not to mention, we would have to find a supplier, that we could trust to get our witchy products from. And, it would be a lot to even get one going. It's always been a dream of mine, but it's always seemed just so far out of reach, because first you have to find the building. Then you have to figure out, is it going to be a good location? Then you have to figure out, how are you going to get the loan? Where are you going to get it from? How much do you need to purchase the building and stuff like that? What are you going to use? Where are you going to get your products to, make your spell bottles and, stuff like that. Because probably one of the first ones that I would go through would be Azure Green, because they do have a decent selection. And I'm sure there's some other witchy catalogs out there that I could find, or online shops to say, hey, would you be interested in partnering with me? I'm a new witch in the sense that I've just opened my own business. I've been POTC for 32 years, practitioner of the craft. So I need, a source that I can get my products from, and see if some of them wouldn't mind, having a partner that is in an area that they're not in. Oh, golly. Then there's, parking. What would you do for parking? Is parking going to be an issue? There's just so much that goes into it. What are you going to do for shelves? How are you going to display this stuff? You're going to have to get a cash register. How much is that going to cost? It's like, oh boy. You don't realize how much goes into it until you do it. You would know. You've gone further with it than I've ever gone. So you have a lot more experience with the stuff than me, as far as what it's like to be a business owner and everything that goes into it that people don't think about. So it's not so easy,
Okay. He sent the new one in.
Okay.
I just checked the messages to see, because a lot of times they will reply for something like that.
Okay. My weight loss med, Pops is talking about that the doc gave me. He did set up another prescription. So, because I only had, there's a lot. See, that's what I mean. Because you got to not only, once you get a resource, you've got to pay to have the stuff shipped, right? Gets there, got to unbox it, see what all's there, make sure nothing's broken. Anything that's broken, put it aside, send it back to him or whatever. Say, hey, this came broken. Could you send me another? And this time, make sure it's packaged well so it don't come broken as well. Then you got to figure out, okay, how am I going to display it? What's going to go where? Kalikaboo. Kalikaboo. Mommy's brat, kitty brat.
You should be able to call that one in, and it'll automatically transfer to the new one.
Okay. What are you doing? What are you sniffing down there? Oh, please don't be eating a poison roach. Please don't be eating a poison roach. I don't want that again. Hopefully she just ate a little piece of the chip down there on the floor. Meow! Better not be eating something down there. It's going to make you sick, you silly cat. He's saying that I should be able to call this thing in. So let me find out, I guess. Get it called in. Here's the brat cat. I hate when it does that.
Your call cannot be completed at this time. Please try again later. En este momento no se puede realizar.
What? Kalika, will you lay down, please? Quit freaking bugging me. Lay down.
Thank you for calling your Town and Country Kroger Pharmacy. If this is a medical emergency, please call 911. Si quiere continuar esta llamada en español, oprima el 2. How can I help you today? You can say things like,
Refill a prescription.
okay, prescription refill. Please say or enter the prescription number. You can also say, I don't know it, or press 1.
6802770.
That's 6802770, right?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll be looking at prescriptions for Janet. There are no refills remaining on your prescription, but we'll contact your prescriber for a refill. Please allow 24 to 48 hours. Is there another prescription you'd like to refill?
It said it wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it just will.
I just tried it.
Here, the automated system only has so many responses that you get.
Ow! Get your knives out of my stomach, cat. Oh, well. Wait a little bit. Try again, I guess, or something. I don't know.
No, it's fine. The automated system will always say that, even if there's already a new one in.
Will you stop digging your claws into me, please? That don't feel good, you know. It's the only issue I have with her when she is on my lap is, you know, they tend to dig their claws in. That hurts. I don't want to yell at them. You know, I don't want to scare them, make them think they got to get down or something. Get off my lap, but just, their nails don't feel good. Yeesh. Brat. She is just a big baby brat. Well, the frogs seem to love the coral. I had these 2 coral pieces that were actual coral from New York, I think, or something like that Naomi gave me years ago. And they were painted coral. Like one of them is a kind of a light pink color, and the other one's like a really light lavender. And I let Chris check them out before I put them in there because I said, do you think these will be safe? Because it's actual coral. And he said, yeah, he said they should be. So I put them in there. Froggy loves them. Sometimes he will brace himself between a piece of the coral on the side of the tank and just kind of hang there like that. It's really funny. I wonder how hard it's going to be to find the number for Lincoln Village. I don't even know if they call it Lincoln Village Flea Market or what's the name of the flea market that I'm speaking of that's up there across from Westland Mall. Trying to turn this around so the face isn't so shadowed. See if I can possibly find it. Talking about, you know, the flea market idea. I know. Because it should be one of the first ones to come up. There it is. It's gotta be. Yep, I think I found it. It's called Westland Flea Market. It's open. It's closed right now, of course, because it's weekday. It's 10.8 miles. The address is 4170 West Broad Street. It's open 10 a.m. on Friday. Lots of vendors in a year-round setting. Oh, really? They have something down here called HOS Crystals for Energy. And it's the same place. Oh, wow. Oh, my. Yep, they got lots of crystals. Oh, goodness sakes. So, yep. Okay. Found them. Now, how do I save it? Because I don't need directions. I know how to get to it. Yeah, I could show you, but I don't know how well you would be able to see. I don't know how well you'd be able to see any of the pictures. But there's some of them, just to give you an idea. That's some of the like displays and stuff they have. Those are all crystals that they're showing. Own this business? I wish. Claim it now, if only, huh? Oh man, I wish I could. So it's considered Westland Flea Market because they have the North Market downtown. I did not know that they considered that a flea market, but I guess it is. Okay, so Westland Flea Market. Kalika, can I use your fur to write something on? I'm kidding. I'm just being silly. Just laying here like, whatever, Mom. You're just so hilarious. Let's see if I can write it in the back of here, maybe. That's something I'm sorry you didn't get to see when you were here was a flea market because you would have loved it. You would have went crazy. You want to talk about deals? Damn, you could have got all kinds of stuff for yourself for pennies, and the boys too. But it's just something I've always wanted to try. Try my luck at, try my hand at. 4170 West Broad. Like the atmosphere of a flea market. Lots of people come from different parts of the world. They happen to be in town or something. Let's go check out the flea market. You can make all kinds of connections that way. You can meet all kinds of people. It's weird though, because yes, please get down. Thank you. Ow. They're only saying here, closed, opens 10 a.m. on Friday. Lots of vendors in a year-round setting. So, but, I hope they're not just doing it on, Fridays. Oh, yeah. You want to talk about the bargains. That's where you can find them for sure. Now, they also have the South High Flea Market, but it's outside. It's strictly outside. So if you're going to go to that one, make sure it's not on a bad weather day, like if it's too hot out and everything, because there's no indoor, nothing there. You're strictly outside. I don't think I've ever been to the South High Flea Market. But they don't have a phone number listed. And it would probably be kind of pointless right now anyway. C14 and C16, I guess, are two of the booths that specifically have crystals. I'm assuming that's why they mentioned it. So I can try to call them, but I know there's not going to be anybody there. So what's the point? It's like, I know they're open on Friday at 10 a.m. So probably either call them then, which would probably be easier. But this particular flea market, it used to be a bowling alley. Let me see if I can. I want to call it to at least get the number. Because hopefully it'll just, call and it'll just ring and ring. Nobody will answer. But it should bring up the number. Okay, here it is. Good. There we go. So as long as I call after 10 a.m. on a Friday, I'll get a hold of them. All right. Because I'd like to, like I said, call them and see, do they have any empty booths available? If so, what are the sizes and the prices of each one? And then just simply go in there, see what the sizes are, see what I think would be the size that would fit me the best, find out what the rental is going to be, because you got to take all those things into consideration and make sure you're going to be able to walk in there with enough money to do it all, or don't do it. Because, and I don't know if they still have this option available or not. And if they do, great. But for somebody that don't have a tent that they could use, or a canopy thing where, at least you have a roof over your head of sort where you're not in the blazing sun, and it's if it's white, that means it's going to be reflective. So, you're not going to feel like you're sitting in a furnace. They used to have a thing there at Westland Flea Market where you could rent space on the outside, like some of the others I mentioned, and it would be like $15 a day for the weekend. So you think Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's $45 for a weekend if you have to post your stuff on the outside. If you have a booth on the inside, the price may be higher. So if you can't walk in the door with the rental for the booth for either the whole day or the whole weekend, then you can't do it. That's the only thing, because even if you manage to scrounge together the money to be able to get the booth, you have no guarantee anybody's going to buy anything, which is unfortunate. But at least as long as your booth is paid for, then there's at least that. But then It's something that, it's almost like once you get something like that started, they would expect you to pay for it every weekend. I don't know. Like, would they let me just leave my stuff there without paying for it every weekend, even if I wasn't there? I really don't know. And even if by some miracle they would, it would probably cost a lot just to keep my stuff there. So, because then you're just basically turning it into a storage place. So anything that I'm going to take, I would have to either realize that, okay, I'm going to have to pack the stuff up before I leave for the weekend, after the weekend's done. Yeah. And, just ask them, and even if I just try it for a single weekend, just see what happens. See if anybody seems to like anything that I have. And at least with the flea market, I would have the freedom because I would check it out first. I would walk through the flea market first myself, even after I got my booth paid for and we got the stuff loaded in there. Like, Chris could be setting up while I'm walking through or something. But I want to walk through there and I want to see what kind of psychic booths they have or tarot readers or anything like that. Because I don't want to be competition for somebody and then that cause a problem. So if there's already a reader there, then I don't know that I would feel comfortable allowing, offering readings myself, because then you have competitive pricing you got to deal with. Do you charge less than the other people, in which case more people are going to come to you, but then you're pissing off the other guy because you're taking their money because they're coming to you for a reading because your prices are better. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want that conflict. So if there's already a tarot reader there, I won't do it. If there's already a witch shop there, that I'm not going to worry so much about, because I look at it this way. People, they're either, if there's a favorite one that they like to go to, great. If they decide that there's some pieces in mind that they like, great. I would make friends with, at least to the point of, it's like, look, I know that you're witches or you're open-minded at least about the concept or whatever, but please don't, I don't want any conflict between us because I'm doing the same thing. I'm not trying to take money away from you or anything like that, so I hope that we can be in harmony with one another, because if it's going to cause a problem, then, I won't do it. It's like, fine, just let them have it, because that doesn't mean that I couldn't give my business card, because I've got a crap ton of them. I could give my business card to some people and say, I do readings and stuff too. I don't do them here because I don't want to take money away from the other tarot readers in the building, and I don't want to cause conflict with them. So, because then that's going to make it difficult for me to have a booth here if I have a bunch of negative energy being directed towards me, and then they start casting spells or something, so I don't get any business at all. Which, if they're cool people and they're decent witches, they would never do that. We would be able to be there in harmony, no problem. If they're bitch witches, then it would be a problem. So, but there's nothing saying I couldn't give them a business card and say, just please don't say anything to them. But if you would like a reading from me, here's my number, here's my name, get a hold of me through this email, and I will work something out with you. I will find a way to do a reading for you, a private reading. And, I have PayPal, so just, the money would go into there. Because of competitive pricing and that. The tricky part is always going to be the pricing and pricing things correctly without feeling like you're cheating yourself out of money, but not overcharging either. So me personally, my way of approaching it, because I have seen how much some of them have charged, and I think it's ridiculous. I would charge $20 a reading, and that's just 10 card Celtic Cross, regular Celtic Cross. I would still go with, if you only want 3 card reading, $3, $1 a card. If you only want a 1 card reading, that's $1. It's just a daily message, basically. That's how I would do things. Okay. Now, granted, because of that, because, a lot of people are going to want to spend less, maybe they don't want to spend the $10, but they'll do a daily, or they'll do a 3 card, that's still a couple bucks, I'm okay with that. Some of them out there not. They're not. Some of them out there are not okay with that. Like I've seen some tarot readers that have charged anywhere in the neighborhood of 40 plus something dollars for 30 minutes. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, but that's just, they're getting a little greedy there, in my opinion. And I'm not going to do that to somebody. And I'm certainly not going to pay somebody to do a reading for me when I could do one for myself. Why pay somebody to do a reading for me when I can do my own? It's pointless. So that will be a way for me to hand out my business cards. And that's one of the things that I ran into when I was cleaning the other day. What did I do with those? I think they're over there somewhere. Don't remember what box I put them in. But man, when I found those, I was like, holy cow. I've got so many business cards because I have different, like I've got couple different card designs. So there's different like wording and stuff that I used on it. These were from Imprint, I think is what it's called, or something like that. It's the same company that I got the my little stamper from. So it's got my name and address on it. I've got 2 stampers actually. So if you want to stamp your address instead of writing it out, then you can do that. And if your ink cartridge runs dry, then you can buy ink cartridges to, put in there and re-ink it. But I've never done that. But yeah, I found a box, Vistaprint. Sorry, that's what it was, Vistaprint. The business cards, because you would get like, I think it was, several hundred? Let me go see if I can find those. They should still be in the box I found them in. Hey, Squeaky. Okay, business cards. What did I do with you? Business cards. No, they're here somewhere. How about put them down here? I think it was a box that I had opened or something. And saw them in there. It's this one. Too small. I think it's this one. Nope. It's Lynn stuff. Don't tell me. I can't find them. Now, when I really want them, come down here. Here's my checks. Nope. It's not that one, that's the mugs. It's not that. Fudge. Kidding me? Now I can't find them. Well, that's distressing. Look out, Squeaky. Oh, darn. Now I can't find them. Oh, well. Guess I'll have to look for them later. But anyway, I ended up finding a whole box of them that I could definitely use in a case like that, to where I could, give somebody my card and say, hey, if you really want a reading from me, here's my name and number, here's my email address, get me a message, let me know that, you met me at the flea market and you wanted to do a reading, but didn't want to cause conflict with the other readers there. And then I'll know, okay, you're from the flea market. So, and then I'll set up, do a reading for them. Now, I also decided that if I'm going to do a 15 card Celtic Cross, where you do the 5 extra cards, then I'm going to charge somewhere in the neighborhood of like 25, because, $1 for each extra card, because then that's going to mean more cards that I'm going to have to lay down. So it's going to take more time, to read them all. And just, also to let people know that I'm a license, or, I don't know about license, but I've got my diploma, proving that I went through and completed a course for astrology parapsychology. So I could do other parapsychology related stuff for them, but they have to be specific. Are they talking hauntings? Are they talking, they want to get into it themselves, but they just don't know where to start, or whatever it might be. And, just try to guide them as best as I can. If I can do something in the parapsychology field for them, I will do my best. But then again, you have to figure out, okay, how much do you charge for that? And is it something that, because you're providing a service, that by legal means you would have to have a vendor's license because you're selling a service? And I don't know if that service could be considered a product or not. But yeah, I found that whole mess of business cards, and I was like, what? And it's all these different sets that are designs that I've made, because Vistaprint, they have all these different designs you can do. And I picked a couple that I really liked. I even did some business cards for Avon. One of the times I did Avon, I tried to do one that was pretty, that was girly looking, that was, along the professional side. And not to mention, in my purse, as a matter of fact, hey, Squeak, look out, baby. Look out. This is at least one of the designs I can show you that I have. But I have to dig it out because it's in this holder. This particular design, I went with Janet's Paranormal Studies. Come explore our world of paranormal. Janet Feinstein, parapsychologist, astrologist, and my Yahoo, Janet Feinstein at yahoo.com. This is one of the designs that I did. And it's got my current number that I have right now on the back. So I have, in my own way, been trying to carry some of these around. So, to give to people if I find somebody that's interested in my services in that area. So, I could maybe land myself some paranormal investigations that way or something. You never know. And then decide if it's something I can realistically go do or not. Because if it's something involving travel, then you got to have traveling expenses and, where are you going to stay? Is it going to be far from home? Is it something you're going to be able to drive there, do the investigation, tell them your findings, and be able to drive back in the same night? Or are you going to have to spend the night because you're going to be so exhausted you don't feel like driving 3 or 4 hours to get home? Excuse me. So I have to decide all that too. But, I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to get them used. I'm trying to, make people aware, that I can provide these services. And if anyone's interested, give me a call, let me know. But because that's my personal number and it's, my phone would be like ringing off the hook. Left and right, both of my lines would probably at times be ringing off the hook. And I could also, that would be a way that I could do a reading over the phone privately for somebody, because I did that before with an organization a long time ago when I was living in Marysville. But because of the different time zones, right? You had to decide with your time zone, what time zone would, what would be the time of day or night that you would be the most available to do it, to do the readings. And well, this organization, they would pay you, for doing the readings. But they wanted me on there at midnight until sometime in the next morning, later in the morning or whatever. And I had kids I was trying to raise. It was too much. So I was only able to do it for a short time. I did meet some fellow witches that way, and that was cool. One of them, she actually wanted me to travel to meet her, and I almost did, but then something inside of me said, don't do it, Janet. It's too risky. You could be stuck somewhere and not have any way home. Don't do it. So I didn't do it. I never heard from her again. I even forget what the lady's name was, but she seemed nice enough, like her and I could kick it. Me and her could be friends and everything even, but there was just that witch stink said, don't do it. So I didn't do it. I finally told the people, I think I called them up one day or something, and I said, I can't do this. The hours are too hard. I can't. I'm trying to raise my kids. I can't be there for my kids and do the readings too, and, get some sleep, because then you're going to be up from midnight till whatever time in the morning. And then if you go to try and sleep, I can't, because I have to get the kids up for school and, different things like that. So it's like, how would I have time to sleep? Which means I would have to be sleeping in the middle of the day to catch up on my sleep. And I didn't want to do that, So I had to let it go. And I think the most that I ever made from that organization was like maybe $80 some or something like that. It wasn't very much at all. Another way that you can go, another route you could do that with, or how you could do it is, and I don't know how to find this thing, or if I even could, but there's an 800 number you could have assigned to your number. So it would still be my number, but they wouldn't know that it was my personal number. They would just think, oh, it's an 800 number, so it's probably some kind of a call center or whatever. So they would still be able to call, but they would think that it was an 800. They wouldn't think that this is my personal number, So there was a little bit of a safety measure there. But because Aaron, my false friend, he told me about it. He was one of the people that told me about it. He said, there's this free number thing you can do. And I said, huh? He said, where you can get like an 800 number, and they can still call your personal number. They just won't know that it's your personal number. In their minds, it's an 800 number, and it's a call center or something. And they probably thought that a bunch of us were sitting around, doing readings for people. How would they know any different? But I don't know what it was. I don't know how you would look that up. So first I would have to find out if I'm going to do something like that again, to where I'm doing readings over the phone, what would be my process? What would I have to go through to do it, to where somebody couldn't come along and say, oh, you're doing, it's illegal. What you're doing is wrong. You can't do it. It's illegal because you didn't do this, and this. So there's a lot of research that would have to go into it, because I don't think that it would be a matter of being able to just get myself out there, get advertised, give out that 800 number, have people calling me, but let them know what my hours of operation, when I would be most available, and my time zone. So whatever time zone they were in, we would have to find a way to coordinate those times so that they wouldn't be calling me at, say, 3:00 in the morning, my time, because they just have to have a reading. And not to mention, the ones that I would be leery about would be the ones like Aaron was, that it got to the point where it seemed like they absolutely could not function unless they were constantly getting a reading. I'm like, Okay, so, would you like me to tell you what color underwear to wear today? Would you like me to tell you what outfit to wear? Because that's not what these readings are about. But he was doing it so much, it was like it was becoming exhaustive. And I was doing magic on the fly for this guy. Like I would just pull words out of the air. He would repeat them with me. We would cast a spell together and he would get his results. But look what it cost me. So there's that. There's the ones the scary ones, like, I'd love to kill you because I want to marry you to God. Yeah, it's like, it's great to believe in it for sure. It's great to be open-minded about it, but to believe in it to the extent that some of them do, that's dangerous, because not only is it going to be exhaustive for the reader, but it's like your life is not your own anymore, because they're constantly wanting a reading about something. Oh, I just met this guy. Should I date him? I don't know. Well, if you just met the guy, what do you know about him? Oh, his name's Jeff and he works at a donut shop. Well, that ain't much to go on now, is it?
My favorite, two different ones. The woman who called up, her boyfriend was a drug dealer, was in jail. She wanted to know where his stash was.
Oh my goodness.
The other one was a woman with 11 kids.
Oh Lord.
Each one by a different husband.
Oh,
a different
Lord.
man.
No.
Wanting to know if the current one she was pregnant with was by the one of her third child.
Oh dear. See what I mean? People, they take it to the extreme, and that can be too much, Exactly. It's like, what? The next thing you know, you're going to be telling me you're going to be expecting me to do a reading for you to tell you what to buy at the Lion's Den. Okay. Come on,
But then,
people.
to make up for it, there's one like the woman who called in. She lost her wedding band.
Wedding band. Oh dear.
And one, if I could find it, because that was one of the things I specialized in.
Mm-hmm.
And told her where I thought it was, that it was definitely enclosed in like a box-like area, but I thought it was more like, bookcase headboards. Some of them have the enclosed areas, little door or drawer.
Oh, really? Oh, I've never seen one of those.
Turned out it was actually this little, it wasn't really a jewelry box, but it was a box she put stuff in sometimes, and it sat on her bookcase headboard.
Oh, okay.
She actually called back after she found it.
And said thank you.
Yes.
Now, see, that is a worthwhile reason to use your abilities, for sure. But, the thing that makes it so scary is sometimes, like I said, I don't want somebody calling me at 3:00 in the morning and saying, oh, you got to do a reading for me. I just got to know this thing. And I'm like, oh no, here we go. Because that's disrupting my life. That's disrupting my sleep. That's disrupting, I don't want to snap at people. I don't want the crazies coming out the woodwork, So it's very, very delicate. You got to pick and choose. And how many times are you going to have to tell a person, look, I told you, I close at 9, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please don't call me after that. Because if you don't put your foot down with that, they'll keep calling. And I don't want to have to change my number a million times either, because they keep calling. So it's really tricky as far as, what is okay to do, what you can plausibly do or sensibly do as far as a reading, as opposed to things that it's like, that's really not generally what a reading is supposed to do. I can't tell you what color eyes your kid's going to have if it's not even born yet. It's like stupid reasons. A lot of them is stupid reasons they want a reading. And it's like, no. I can't do this. I'm sorry. And then click, just hang up on them. You're going to lose customers, but you got to do what you got to do. A separate number and just turn it off at the time. Yes, exactly. get a separate number and then turn it off. When you're done for the day, turn it off. And then just let people know, this is my time slot. If you can call during that time slot, great. I will try to get to you. If I don't, I apologize. Try me again the next day. Try me at a different time. Maybe during that time slot, you might catch me. Because, see, the thing about this is it kind of ends up turning into a steamroller on you. Or like a boulder going down a hill. Okay? Or a snowball, that's no bigger than this. But then by the time it gets to the bottom of the hill, it can take out a house. Okay? It gains momentum and it just blows up. It's like, once you get out there and get noticed in this way, they come from all over the place. Oh, could you do a reading for me, please, please, please? Okay. What do you want a reading about? Oh, I just need to. First, you need to calm down. Take a few deep breaths. Get yourself focused and centered. Think about one question at a time, please. What is it you really want to know? And also, once the answer is given, you have to be okay with the answer, because I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I am going to tell you what the cards are telling you. So you have to prepare yourself, because it might not be the answer you want. But I am not going to lie to you. I am going to be straight up with you and tell you this is what the cards are saying. Take it for as you will. Whatever you take it for what you want. Take it as you will. Accept it. Don't accept it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but this is what the cards are saying. I have no reason to lie about this, okay? I have nothing to gain from lying other than losing customers and developing a bad reputation with other possible customers, because they're like, oh, she lies. So how can you believe anything she says? And I don't want that I don't want to be that reader. I want to be that reader that, oh yeah, Janet's good. You really should go to her. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. I didn't have a single customer that day at Marcon. When I came out of the tarot closet, you might as well say, and I openly did readings for public people for the first time in my life. Not a single person that I know of that sat down was disappointed in what I had to tell them. I just told them what the cards said, and they're like, okay, and they were really cool about it. So it worked out. But it becomes one of those, that would be a way that I could make some money. Certainly my PayPal would probably go to some astronomical height that I never thought possible as far as money. But am I going to be able to handle the possible consequences of getting out there and getting that noticed? Because then you're going to have your competitors. You're going to have your other readers that are the fraudulent ones that are gypping people out of their money, telling them what they want to hear, and they walk away billionaires. And then they're gonna say, "Oh, I got a reading from her, and she totally lied, and she did." They're gonna try to cut you down. They're gonna troll you, just like what happened to you on TikTok. They're gonna come in, they're gonna troll you, they're gonna make you think that they're a potential customer, get a reading from you, and you give them a perfect reading, tell them exactly what the reading says, not what they want to hear, what the reading is saying, and then they go and they smear it down to some horrible thing to where it drives people away to where they don't want to get a reading from you anymore. So, it's a difficult decision. It sounds like an easy enough thing, but it's really not. The world is just too full of scary people. So if you're going to do it, be careful how you do it. Make sure you have some safety measures in place. And don't be afraid to let people know, look, I'm going to tell you how I do things, and please don't violate anything that I say, because if you come at me and you get threatening, or you get defensive, or you start screaming at me or cussing at me because I'm not telling you what you want to hear, I'm just going to hang up on you, and I will block your number. You won't be able to call me ever again, because I don't need that. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for you to yell at because I didn't tell you what you want to hear, So that's probably why I have never pursued that, because I don't know how to do it safely. I don't know that I would be okay with the skeptics that would be calling. And even if you gave them a perfect, accurate reading, they're still going to find something wrong with it. They're still going to cut it down. They're going to make it into something that it's not, because their entire goal and focus is you losing money, because now you've lost all your customers because this person wants to be an asshole, wants to be a troll and cause you a problem, instead of going out and finding their own happiness, their own little thing that they could do maybe to make money, but that it would be something honest. Because if they're going to do something dishonest against you, then they're not going to be able to run any kind of successful business, because they're going to be avid liars themselves just to make the money, and they don't care who they hurt by telling them, oh, yeah, you and this guy, yeah, I see a really good future for both of you. And then they get together and the guy beats them, or the guy turns out to be married and has 3 kids, and the wife finds out, and then all hell breaks loose. That's what far too many, they call them crimes of passion, end up happening, where, a spouse gets killed because the other one finds out that they were cheating, and, all that stuff. Like the crime channel that I watch. And it's scary, but there are people out there like that. So I've been, this whole entire time, I've been trying to think of, okay, what would be some safer ways to go? What would be a safer way to approach this and get myself out there and get myself noticed and be able to handle the onslaught of people, to where as soon as I walk out the door, they're like, oh, Janet, oh my God, it's Janet, and it's like, please, people, don't. I appreciate it, but don't put me on a pedestal here. Don't give me a crown and scepter and I don't want to be worshipped. I really don't. I'm just trying to help, Don't treat me like a god, because that's just scary. I don't want that kind of responsibility on my shoulders. Thank you. No. And then your groupies that, might come along that just like follow you around like lost puppies. They just, they want you to teach them everything. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not going to do that, because I don't think you're thinking this through very clearly. This is a very serious, craft, and it has its ups and downs. People can get hurt. Marriages can be destroyed, but marriages can also be fixed. Just like relationships can be destroyed, but some of them can be saved. Because if like a wife is suspicious about a husband cheating, and he's done everything to cover his tracks, and they come to me for a reading, and I'm able to expose what's really going on, then they can just go and quietly file for a divorce, make arrangements, take their kids, and go. And then the spouse comes home one day to an empty place and goes, what the hell happened? Well, she found out you were cheating, man. It's over. Because I will never understand how somebody could do that to a spouse. It's like, you married this person because you were saying you wanted to be with that person and that person only. You love that person. You desire that person. No one else, Sweetie, I hope not. I really hope not. I can understand your fear. I'll just say it that way. I can understand your fear. Because 12 years is a long time to go without that kind of connection with somebody, if you know what I mean. I hope not. I hope that never comes about. And it is scary, it is scary. It does raise some questions. It raises some fear. So I'm right there with you. I hope that never happens. I really do. You know, I like to think that he has grown since then, and he has learned to make wiser choices and decisions before he starts down a path that it destroys everything good that he has right now with you and the boys, you know. So I'm right there with you. I'm just I'm concerned too. I remember that going through my head, and I'm like, oh, don't think that, don't think that, don't think that, don't think it, don't think it, don't think it. You don't want to manifest it. You don't want to give it power. Don't think it. But the only thing I can suggest for either of us is just, light some candles and do a lot of prayers and, ask the powers that be, the God and Goddess, please don't let this ever be an issue. Don't let this happen. Let him find the strength within himself and his love for you and the boys be all he needs to stop him if, somebody approaches him and whatever. Nope, I'm engaged. Sorry. I've got my girl. She's waiting for me in England, and I'm trying to get her over here now. And in the same token, another fear kind of is the stress that it may cause if once he gets out, he becomes absolutely obsessed with just how quick he can get you here, to where then it stresses you out. It stresses the boys out because now you got to pack shit up again. Now you got to move again. You got to get passports for the boys, and it just everything involved. Oh man, it would be a nightmare. It would be really a lot of stress for everybody, and I hope that it don't come to that. I hope that he can keep his demeanor enough and keep his calm enough that, he can call you, he can do live streams to where, you can see him and talk with him just like you're seeing me right now. At least that'll be something there. Until we can come up with a sensible plan. If I have to yell at him and go, Michael, don't make me bring the bitch out of the box because you ain't going to like her. I am still your mother. You might be a grown man, but I'm telling you, calm the hell down. Think this through rationally, or it's going to blow up in your face and you're going to hurt a lot of people. You've got to be calm about this. You've got to rationalize. What is the first most logical step? 1, getting him a job, getting him established. 2, getting him a place where he's going to have enough room for you, him, and the boys. 3, he's going to have a car so that he can get around, which 4 means he's going to have to get a driver's license. 5, he may have to get a passport, himself, because I believe the plan of action is that he's going to try to stay here in the States for around 10 years or so, is what he told me anyway. And then he's very possibly going to move to England so he can be with you and the boys and maybe save you all the stress from having to move again. So we'll see how it plays out. Missed what you said. Oh, that's okay. You can just watch it through later, sweetie. The long and short of it is, when Michael gets out, we got to get him established first and foremost. Get him working, get him a place, get him a car, get him a driver's license. Just start with that, okay? And a lot of conversation with Michael. Don't fuck this up now. You're out. Don't mess this up. Don't give in to temptation, because there may be some. I hope not. I hope that anytime you see a woman walking down the street, you think of Brooke and you think about what you would destroy if you give in to that temptation. Yeah, that's an option too. I don't know what would be considered neutral country, because you guys are in the UK and we're here in the States, but, we'll just have to see how it plays out when it plays out, but I don't want Michael jumping the gun either and trying to make everything happen. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's done. No, Michael, no. Come back to reality, son. Things don't happen that quick. Calm down. Take a breath. You got a brain, use it. What is the most rational way to approach this? Okay. It doesn't work out with me being able to come over there. Yeah. Yeah. Because I know it would be a lot. I know it would, honey. I mean, I can only imagine what it would put you through, what it would put the boys through, everything you would have to get in place before you could even do it, to get over here. And, you would still need the whole sponsorship thing, right? Because I don't know that you and Michael could get married that quickly, and if that would be enough. I don't want that kind of pressure put on you guys. Certainly not you. And so we'll just have to try and, I don't know, beat it into him if we have to, that Michael, don't screw this up, son. Don't jump the gun here. You've got to be able to stay calm and think this through rationally. The main thing is that Cohen is a massive part of his life. So he might not. Yeah. Yeah. So see, there's stuff like that, certainly, to consider. How, what would be an alteration that we could do there if there is one, if there is any. Okay, if plan A doesn't work, what about plan B? If plan B doesn't work, what about plan C? Just keep trying until we find out one. Oh, we got one, until we find one that works, for everybody. So yeah, it's a lot to think of. Yeah. Yeah, and that would be tough, certainly, for any mother. And I certainly don't want you to feel like you have to leave one of your kids behind, sweetie. Goodness, no. And I don't think Michael would want you to, be faced with that heartbreaking decision. No. So, like I said, we'll see. My hope is exactly. I mean, if it was one of my kids, there's no way I would do it. No way. Nope. Not happening. Not doing it. Let's think of something else. I'm not leaving one of my kids behind. Especially considering, how many times David and Michael were taken from me. And then, Adam pulling what he did when Alicia was 2. So yeah, I know how heart-wrenching that was. And you should never have to be faced with that decision, honey. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I would love to be able to see that happen for you, because here in the States, you're going to be able to get the help that you can't get there for the boys, for Cohen and Oakley. A lot better resources and different programs and stuff you can get them into to help manage the autism, and, so that they can live as close to a normal life as we can give them, So yeah, there's really a lot. There's a lot, to think about, that Michael needs to think about, and he needs to rationalize, and if it comes down to he stays here for 10 years or something, like he said, and then he goes to England, that's fine. I'm sure you guys will try to figure out a way to see each other, but he still, he's going to want to come and visit, no doubt. So that means he's going to have to get a passport. I don't know what all is involved in doing that. You do, because you've been through it. Maria does. She's been through it. I never have. I know birth certificate is one of them you need, and I don't know what all else, to be able to get. You got to get the photo taken for the photo part of it. There's a lot, probably, that the whole process that you have to go through just to even get the passport, not to mention the wait time, because you're not going to get it in a week. Not very likely. It can take a couple weeks before you even get it. So I honestly, I'm right there with you, sweetie. I don't know what way is going to work out the best. I just hope that we find a way that will, that will work out the best for everybody as best as we can do. So that the boys can maybe get the resources here that they need so they can get the care, the help they need. But it's not something, that's going to be able to happen overnight. It's just not. That's not realistic and that's not plausible. Because most likely, one of the things that would be the most immediate, and sadly it would only be one-sided really, is I would do a live. Thought I got that thing off. And let Michael pop on. So we would have to put the computer in a neutral spot where you could see everybody. And then if you guys wanted to have some private time, I'd be like, here, take it, go, just be careful what you say because it's public. So unless you want that particular live to be private, so that literally you and Michael are the only ones that would be able to view it. Because if it's going to be something that personal, I don't want you guys, I want it to be private for the two of you. But it'll be nice to be able to do a live stream and be able to have him on it so you can see he's here. Here he is, So I'm trying to look forward to the positives too. Happy. Man, I wish that toe would go down because I think it's still swollen. My hurt toe. I don't know if the discoloration is fading at all or not, or if it's still. I'm just being random again. Sorry. And that wasn't. Yep, it's not that one. It's just that one. I was squeezing on my other toes to make sure it was in fact just the one because when I was trying to take this piece of plastic off, one of my toes was hurting a little bit. So I was like, oh crap, what did I do? Did I pinch the sore toe the wrong way or something? Didn't mean to. And these cards are trying their best to jump off of here. So I need to put them somewhere else so they don't. But I'm still trying to maintain without overwhelming myself, which we're already overwhelmed with all that's going to happen once Michael's out of there. Is I'm just trying to focus on, getting the phone call and him saying, come and get me, guys. They released me. So that whatever time of day or night that happens, we're going to be in the car and on our way up there. No question. I don't care if I'm dead tired asleep and fall asleep on the drive up there. At least, I'll get enough rest, hopefully, to be able to be halfway with it when we go up to get him. Do you still have the Adam and Eve route that I gave you for you and Michael? Because that's something you could do to ensure, and so that you and I can breathe a little easier. And I would keep this between us if we can to the best of our ability, because this is public. So try to keep Michael from finding out. But, because it could be a trigger for him. It could be, okay, what you do then is you take that Adam and Eve route, devise a spell of your own making, simple as you can make it. If you can rhyme it, all the better. Write it out on a piece of paper, what you want, and put it in a spell bottle with the Adam and Eve root. Like you can take like a little bit of your hair or something. You can put a fingernail bit in there if you want, or, and just ask that he will have the strength. He will find the strength within himself to fight any temptation that might come along. Okay. So that's good. But my hope is that the Adam and Eve route will keep anybody from, being able to get to him and, to keep him from giving in. Because that thought should never enter his mind. He's got his woman. That is you're the only one that he should ever have any thoughts like that about at all, period. Sometimes even you can hold the Adam and Eve root and you can ask the goddess and God to please help to alleviate your fears that could happen. And, do that as much as you need to do it until the fear's gone, so that without any doubt whatsoever, that's not going to happen. Because, if you think about it, I don't know, kind of dealing with a similar fear. Because of the way things are here at home. You know what I mean? So I can relate. I can understand. I can understand the fear. Did you read all that? So it's some may say that it's silly. But there was people need to understand why, those fears happen. And in my opinion, for two people that truly love each other, they will work through it. They will rise above it. They will, reassure each other even more that, look, that would be nice, but I'm not going to throw away a 16-year relationship because of it. One of the crime stories I watched last night broke my heart into. This young lady, I think, was only like 25 or something, 27, something like that, really young. And she got involved with this guy at work, but he was a playboy. And he was dating like 15 to 20 other women at the same time. And he was bedding every one of them. He didn't lie about it. He didn't hide it or anything of that nature. He claimed that he was really happy for her because she wanted a baby so badly. And her husband at the time, he was a truck driver. So he worked at night. She worked during the day, and they almost never saw each other. So she got a divorce from this guy. After he found out that she was flirting with this guy at her work. Somebody, watching the case and everything, it looked to me like it was a burglary gone wrong. And she was at the wrong place, the wrong time. She was like 2 weeks away from giving birth, I think it was. and somebody broke in, was in the middle of burglarizing her house, and she was home. They strangled her and stabbed her in the throat. So not only did it kill her, but it killed her baby. So her baby didn't even get a chance to be born. And I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for that family to see the distress that the mother was in, and the brother, who they were like this. They were like really, really close. And, they couldn't pin it on the boyfriend. They couldn't pin it on the guy that got her pregnant. Her guy that at work that she got hooked up with. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that is just god awful. 25, 27 years old to have your life cut so short that way. And now your baby can't even be born and it dies because somebody broke into your house and killed you. And the court, they got really upset that they couldn't pin it on the guy they wanted to pin it on. They couldn't pin it on the ex-husband. He came up clean. One of the investigators said, I think it was a case of a burglary gone wrong, because there was several other burglaries in that same area that had happened. They didn't really say, anything that was taken that was irrelevant, but I think that's what it was too, because they couldn't pin it on the two guys that were hit the suspect list and why. And you just don't ever want to go through that. You don't ever want to even imagine the pain that a family would be put through if that happened, And this guy, being the playboy that he is, and just having such a disregard for these women that he bedded. He said that he was always up front with them. He said, look, this is what I'm looking for. Friends with benefits. That's it. I'm not interested in a relationship. I'm not interested in any kind of commitment or anything. He even had a kid by somebody, but he pays child support for that kid. He has no problem doing that. He loves children, and this and that. So, the people that tried to convict him and the ex, they couldn't. So that was that. And the daughter and the baby are still gone. And the family is destroyed because of it. So that right there alone is always going to be my main reason for being so against this whole open relationship, multiple partners, friends with benefits shit in the first place, because it can result in somebody's death. Because what if one of the people you get involved with ends up killing themselves when you cut it off? You have a roll in the hay or a few, and then you just cut it off, and they can't take it, and they get obsessed. They try to get you back or something of that nature, and you tell them no, and then you have to get a restraining order against them and all kinds of stuff. And the next thing you know, they're dead because they took their own life because you wouldn't take them back. I wouldn't even want to be put in that situation either. And that's how dangerous some of these things can go. And I've seen enough of these crime movies, not movies, but the crime shows. It's called Dateline. That I was like, nope, I'm not. I don't ever want to get into anything even remotely like that, because that's asking for trouble. I heard this stupid thing go off. Let me see what the notifications are this time. Blah, blah, blah. La, la, la. Nothing important. Just advertisements mostly. So yeah, sometimes I'll watch those shows to remind myself, just how ugly the world is out there and how far some of these things can go. And it can result in somebody's death that could have been avoided if other steps were taken instead. If wiser choices were made, better decisions were made. But that doesn't mean that, even if she would have never got involved with this guy and got pregnant by him, that she wouldn't have still been killed, that she wouldn't have still been there. There's no way of knowing. My heart breaks for every one of those people that have gone through that or anything like it. Because it changes your life forever, and all you know is suddenly that person's gone, and the only way you can talk to them is at their grave. You can talk to their spirits, certainly, but it's just not quite the same because you're still in an earth body. You're still on the earth plane. They're not. They're spirit. They're in the spirit realm now, and sometimes it's not so easy for them to get through either because, I go through that myself. Sometimes the spirit will try to get through to me or try to get a message or just say, hey, and they can't get through because there's too many others trying to get through at the same time. It can be maddening. It can be enough to make your head go, okay, I need to close down here for a minute because my head's about to explode. Because when the stuff starts filtering in from the universe, it comes in waves. I'm surprised, I can sleep at night sometimes because it's just that. And it's like, okay, who's talking? How many is it this time? This is too much. We need to stop. One at a time, please. I can't handle all this traffic.
Let's see.
Yeah, that thing that you don't get. So what else is new? But here, lately I've been going back to the, getting 10 hours of sleep a night myself. I go to bed at 10 o'clock because trying to keep a set sleep schedule because the teeter-tottering of getting a set sleep schedule and then messing it up. It's just going to cause more stress on the body. More headaches than I need or want right now, for sure. And then, yes, then it could start getting difficult, and I could end up having sleep problems that I don't want. They have this new thing on Calm now. It's an app that you can get that it has like soothing sounds and stuff that can help you fall asleep if you have trouble falling asleep. They have something called green noise. They have something called brown noise. They have something called pink noise. And I think there's probably a couple of other colors. But it's done on a certain frequency that it helps to calm the chatter, the constant chatter in your head that goes on a lot of times when you're trying to sleep. You want your brain to just shut up and shut down for the night so you can sleep. Not shut down as in stop functioning altogether, of course, but shut down, go into sleep mode now. I need to sleep. This body needs to sleep because if I don't, then, I'm going to end up in the hospital and I don't want that. So, but anyway, I think I'm going to go make me a ramen packet because that cereal usually don't hold me very long. I always call them ramen packets because to me they are. It's in a packet. You got to open a packet, the little spice thing to give it the flavor. So I call them ramen packets.